Yes, Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Who am I? Well, it doesn't really matter one jot who I am, but I'm here to have a quick word about what's happening in Palestine. Everybody else is talking, so might as well say my piece. I think things that's happened since the 7th of October has been absolutely incredible in terms of what's happened as well as the attention, the world attention on what's happening in the Gaza Strip part, particularly of the Middle East. Something like is it 1,500 Israeli people have been killed, and is it something like 5,000 Palestinian people have been killed? Shocking, whichever way you look at it. And the most recent major incident was the bombing of the Al Ahli Arabic hospital in the middle of Gaza, killing 500 people in one swoop. 500 people died. And the images coming out of there, absolutely, unbelievable. It's making so many people cry. I'm only going to say the obvious, but sometimes the obvious does need to be stated. And one of the first things is that the Muslim community in particular, we strongly identify, because we are a Muslim brotherhood, the Brotherhood of Islam, it's known as, just like the Brotherhood of Man, which is another thing. And we both feel that our lives are not being valued, it's just not being valued, and it's turned up into a bit of a us and then situation. I mean, even in Great Britain, there's 4 million Muslim people. Our views are just not being heard by anybody. Throughout the world, there are 2 billion Muslim people, all mainly practicing Orthodox Muslims who actually practice their religion. They just, they don't just turn up at an event, celebration event, once or twice a year. So, to reiterate, we don't feel our views and our feelings and our anger and our frustration are being heard. There is a deep sense of trauma within all of us, and this will have repercussions internally, over the long term, if not short term, in terms of the impact it will have on our health, on the health service, and so on. People cannot cope with the images we're seeing coming out of Palestine. Absolutely incredible. And then on top of that, you see our leaders, elected political leaders, saying, it has to be a measured reaction, and they don't seem to be living on the same planet. Even for example, the bombing of the Al Ahli hospital in Gaza, they're saying it might have been Hamas themselves or the Palestinians themselves. It's like saying that 9/11 bombing was done by the Americans themselves. And I could give you a lot of other examples, So how ridiculous are people going to get? There comes a time when you have to say enough is enough. We're not going to stand for this rhetoric, this stupidity, this outright racism and absolute abuse of humanity and humanitarian rights. Okay, the other thing I wanted to say is, aside from the trauma that we are going through, is please, my dear brothers and sisters, whether you're Muslim or otherwise, because I know this is a global thing, the views, the images are shocking, but try to have some optimism. I know I have never seen so much bombardment of the social media, the WhatsApp, the Facebook, and emails and anything else. Everybody's talking about this, and then people are talking about it inside your homes, on your streets, and in the shops, wherever you go. Everyone's talking about this, and why wouldn't they? And there is a tremendous sense of feeling completely helpless about doing anything, because people try to do anything, but what do? Petitions are useless. No one pays any attention to it. Our elected leaders tell us we can't go on demonstrations. We can't carry a flag of this color or that color. It's like we're living in the dark ages. I'm sure it wasn't this bad even in the medieval times. So what the hell is happening? Enough is enough. We've got to put an end to this. I know there's one more hope, and that is the people, and especially I'm talking about the great people of Great Britain. The British people are good people. They always have been, and they always will be. And they will see, you know, they will see through the, whatever the phrase is, they will see through the cloud about the things that's been presented to us and what the reality is. And they will not put up with this kind of barbaric attack after attack after attack on innocent men, but particularly the women, and even particularly the babies. You're seeing babies being picked up, but not a whole baby. It's a dead baby, and it's not even a whole baby. You're seeing parts of their bodies being picked up and put in carrier bags by their parents. Ya Allah, I mean, apart from praying, what can you do? And the politicians, oh my God, all right, if they're not made accountable at the elections, and whichever party they're from, they will be made accountable one day. Everybody has a day of reckoning. Even atheists, they will always all have a day of reckoning, and they will be answerable for the action or the non-action. I can't remember who said it. Was it, I don't know, President Kennedy or someone, some great person from the past, to say that what is worse than not fighting is basically people not doing anything, people remaining silent. And I'll be honest with you, I am a bit surprised. I speak on day-to-day basis with ordinary people of all colors, ages, genders, and everything, and people are absolutely appalled, but they feel completely powerless to be able to do anything. Now, this has got to change. And I'm not talking about waiting until the next elections, Council General or European election, whenever that is. That's got to be at least a month away. But they have to speak up now. They do have to speak up now. What can I do? I don't want to cry, because my whole intention was to try to put a positive image on. The other thing I would say is try to avoid this kind of fighting amongst each other in terms of putting overly too much blame on one or the other. I know a lot of the anger has gone out toward the elected politicians of whichever party, but particularly the Labour Party. Thanks to what Keir Starmer said in particular in his interview with the LBC. But look, they're in a different situation, difficult situation. I'm not subscribing to the view that all politicians, and particularly Labour politicians, need to resign from their parties. I think you need to stay in the party and you need to keep on holding your position. But for God's sake, do something. Don't just sit there and take your salaries. Do something. And they will listen. They have to listen. It's despite the fact that they're preventing you from going to meetings and being seen publicly here and there. You've got to stay in. You have got a difficult position, I do agree. But end of the day, if we all just resign en masse from any of the parties, including the Labour Party, then, when people calm down and think about it, we're on a loser there. We have got to remain actively involved and in all the parties. That's a deeper debate, and it would take me a lot longer to try and explain what my thinking is there. But anyway, I am no better person than anyone else. I'm just telling you my own thoughts and feelings, which is mainly being powered by utter dismay about what's happening in the world. Ya Allah, Ya God, we all follow the same God, Abrahamic God. There is only one God. Please help us. Ameen.